Hello and welcome to Times Food. And today we have with us none other than well-known actor Taapsee Pannu and celebrity nutrition expert Munmun Ganeriwal, who is hitting the headlines for her belly and brain diet Yuktahaar. A very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Smita.
Thank you.
So my first question is for you, Taapsee. How has it benefited you, the Yuktahaar?
It really helped me to design a proper diet plan for myself, like in the sense that without sacrificing the things that I like to eat, and have a certain pattern of sorts in my eating, like the time of eating or how many times a day I should eat and when should eat. All these things, it helped me plan that in my day, helped me bust a lot of myths of the fact that I don't have to give up on carbs. I don't have to give up on fried foods or food also, because I really like eating fried food. I'm not a sweet eating person, so that's okay. I don't have a sweet tooth, so that's kind of fine with me to not to have much of sweets, even though those are also part of my meal plan, to have a sweet a little bit here and there.
So Munmun, why do you call it Yuktahaar? And how is it different from the other diets? I mean, I've heard that it includes other diets also. So, but how is it different and the reason behind calling it Yuktahar?
So, firstly, it is not a diet per se. It is the only program that focuses on the gut microbiome. So, when I say how different it is basically the only program out there in the world that focuses on gut microbiome using Indian foods and the principles of Ayurveda. So that is the thing. Now, all the other diets till now that has come and that people have been following for so many years, whether it's a low carb or a keto or a fasting, intermittent, low fat or whatever, so many has come. In all of the diets, what has happened till now is that the focus has been us, like the focus has been you and me and the human body. But in this book, the focus is shifted from the human body to these trillions of microbes that live inside our gut. So, till now, though the West has completely acknowledged their presence, the West has completely acknowledged that these are the, tiny heroes that can really help us get better with our health and also help us lose weight. Um, in India, that acknowledgement had not come, and that was the reason why I wanted to write a book so that people get educated about the human body. Because till now, what we have been doing is we have been addressing things in a very reductionist way, like heart health alag hai, mental health alag hai, सब कुछ अलग अलग departmentalized. This is what we have done till now, but the gut microbiome urges us to think of the human body as one single ecosystem, is driven by the fact as to what kind of microbes you're harboring inside you. So, of course, it is a hell lot different from any other diet that exists out there. And it focuses on healthy eating. So, there is no such thing in the book that tells you that don't eat gluten or don't eat carbs for a lifetime or don't eat any group or any food for a lifetime. It's more of an inclusion approach. It believes that including food is going to make you healthy. Just avoiding and excluding food is not going to make you healthy. And Yuktahar, the name is given because honestly, it's the program that I have been running for the last 20 years. And it was my editor's suggestion that I should keep the book title as Yuktahar itself. And Yuktahar is essentially a word which I borrowed from the Bhagavad Gita because I'm a very big follower and student of Bhagavad Gita. And basically, the idea is to say that anything that we eat is just not ahar. So, ahar is food. So, anything that we eat is just not our food. Our emotions also feed us. The relationships that we are in, that also feeds us. The movements we do, the air we breathe, everything feeds us. So, it basically implies towards a more holistic way of living, more of a lifestyle approach than a diet approach. Yuk means right, so it's basically about the right way of living.
So, Munmun, actually, I read a book a couple of years ago from a US-based neurologist. She had also promoted the same thing, that brain is the new gut. And this is something that Ayurveda has been rooting its medicines and this connection between the gut and the brain, they have been rooting its medicine based on that only since, times immemorial. And don't you think that this ignorance, this connection between the gut and the brain that we have been doing, that the modern medicine has been doing ever since, since so many years. So do you think that this is the reason behind the rise of so many lifestyle diseases, this ignorance?
Yeah, the ignorance, because even when we talk about, say, cholesterol today, we would want to stop eating ghee or oil. That's the basic standard advice. When we talk about mental health, of course, I don't want to trivialize the matter. Of course, the psychologist, psychiatrist, everyone is important, but a gut microbiome specialist is equally important. But there is no such picture of any gut specialist coming whenever there's talk of mental health. So of course, there's a lot of ignorance. In the West, also, it's just been 10 years or so that everybody has started understanding that this ecosystem is so important. But as you rightly said, Ayurveda has been talking about it since, 5,000 years. And that is why bringing back those Ayurveda principles, and in fact, like when you read my book, you would know, or when you listen to my book on Audible, you would know that most of these Ayurveda principles that has been existing for thousands of years are actually matching with the Western concepts now. It's just that they are called by different names.
Okay. So, Taapsee, now my next question is to you. So, you are an epitome of perfection, whether it comes to looking dazzlingly fit or answering a very complicated role. Please tell us what you eat in a day to look so fabulous and the way that you are.
There's
Any
no
five
hidden
things
secret.
that you would want to mention that in this video that the readers would want to know? Any five basic things?
Five basic things. I'll start. There'll be all the dry fruits from raisins to almonds, kind of things, and at different times. Or there'll be fruits also, but there also will be my chole bhature in the diet that you'll find. There'll be a gelato ice cream also there in the diet plan that you'll find. There'll be I love
Biryani.
eating, yeah, biryani and raita also there in the diet, and that too for dinner. Uh, so,
Wow.
so these are the kind of things that you will find in in my meal plan.
So,
today,
I
today
wanted
for
to
dinner, today for dinner is chicken curry and rice. That's my dinner today.
I want to have the same diet too now. So, Taapsee, my next question was to you to ask that what's your secret indulgence? But I think that all secret indulgences are
There's
part
no
of the
secret. There's part of the diet.
part of the diet. So, do you cook? Anything that you can make with perfection?
I can cook, but the question is, do I like to cook? No. I can cook if I want to. That's what I did entire lockdown. I had to cook myself. So I can cook if I want to. I can cook like most of the Indian food, like dal sabji, biryani, or all that kind of stuff. I can roti, rice of different kinds, pulao, whatever. I can
Amazing.
cook all of that, but I don't enjoy cooking. I only cook when I know there's no other option.
Okay. So, one more question. So, what is maa ki haath ka khana for you? Something that you remember, your mother's food.
Butter
That
paneer.
Matar.
I'll That's my first thing I tell my mom when I meet her to make for the first meal that she cooks at home when I'm there.
Okay. So, Munmun, I know that time is running short. So, my last question is give us those 5 tips that anyone should follow to stay fit and healthy. And where can people access Yuktahar? Is it on Audible?
Yes, so the audiobook of Yuktahaar has just been released and it's on Audible, so everyone can have access to it. The good part about having an audiobook, and I'm very excited that we have Audible now partnering with us and doing this, because it just has a wider reach. So if you're in India, outside India, you can just get on Audible and hear the book out. What was your next? Okay, the 5 tips. So the 5 tips I will say, the first thing I will say is that do not go on any kind of a diet, whether it's a low carb or a low fat or a keto or any kind of fasting, or so many diets are there, the GM diets, many diets have been there, right? So don't get on any kind of a diet. What you need to do is work on the core of your problem, which the functional medicine or the integrative medicine talks about, which is the gut microbiome. So working to bring back the health of the gut microbiome should be the focus, not getting onto a diet. That should not be the focus. Number two, when I say that working on the gut should be the focus, again, working on the gut doesn't come by following a diet per se. It comes from a complete holistic lifestyle. So where there is eating right is a part of it. There's also movement, exercising, some sort of exercise. It doesn't have to be an HIIT or a complete power workout. Even just a 10 minutes of workout, 10 minutes of workout or 10 minutes of just a simple walk is also a great way to start if you're somebody who hasn't worked out at all. Sleep is an important pillar. It's so important to sleep on time. And the fourth is, what I call is neural retraining. The people can hear about neural retraining in the book in more detail, but in short, if I just have to explain, it's about, managing your emotions, managing your stress levels through a lot of yogic practices. The third tip I would say is that do not start your day with a very heavy breakfast. Your breakfast and dinner should always be lighter. Lunch is the meal which has to be more and the more substantial. So all of these meals, all my clients and even Taapsee, they would have all these kind of meals for lunch. Breakfast is usually lighter, like a millet porridge, like a khichdi. Dinner is like something like rice and curry, like she mentioned right now. So these are much lighter meals compared to the lunch, which can be heavier. And the fourth tip I would say is very important is about chewing your food correctly. We are multitasking these days and we are always in a rush. Every time we think, whatever we are doing, this had to be finished yesterday. So we are always in a rush to do things. And one of the things that we always end up doing is not chewing our food correctly. We don't even kind of realize that we're not chewing our food at all.
So does it have to be 32 times chewing?
Of course, I mean, those 32 times was for two reasons, I think. It was something that Mahatma Gandhi mentioned, right? So I think it was definitely for two things. One is that because, of course, the chewing will take longer when you do it for 32 times. And so you chew the food well ultimately. And the second reason, what I believe, is that I feel that you must have noticed that when you're counting that 32, in the process, you won't lose the focus, right? You can't be watching TV and then counting 32 at the same time. So I feel that he was very intelligent because he felt that if the people are in the process of counting 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, they would also not lose the focus. The focus would be in the food and the act of eating, which is so important.
That's a completely new perspective. And one more thing, it said that you have to walk like 1,000 steps after having a meal. So, I mean, do you have to really do that, or you have to work out? That's enough.
No. So workout, of course, is important. As I said, working out is something that you can start with only 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be like 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Of course, if you feel you're strong enough, you should ramp up the duration, the intensity, everything. But workout is very different from being active throughout the day. So when you're just walking around, you're just being active, which is completely different than the formal workout that you do for a limited period of time in the day. After meals, yes, even Ayurveda says that after meals you should take a very gentle stroll, a gentle walk, which is like, say, for 10 minutes, not like a brisk walk, but a gentle walk for 10 minutes.
So, before we end, Taapsee, any message that you would want to give to the readers who want to get fitter in the coming year, in the coming months? Any message, any tips that you want to share?
I'll just say that please don't believe in leaving or giving up on your love for food because you need to look a certain way, or you need to be healthier. It can be done keeping in mind what you really like to eat. So that, don't think that diet just basically means that. When people ask me, are you on a diet plan, I say I am on a diet plan, but that doesn't mean that I'll have these exotic requests to eat. So that myth, please don't think of that. And it is very easy to do. It's easier to follow for longer periods, unlike a tough diet which you give up on after some time. So yeah, so there are a lot of these myths that are attached to dieting and diet plan, which I think Yuktahar will help you just get rid of these myths. You can hear it, you can read it, but yeah, I mean, don't get scared of the word diet because it's not as scary as people have made it over years.
Thank you so much. Thanks to both of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.